Focus on the why over the how. This is the mindset shift number 7 from Evan Carmichael in his book Momentum. So this is in his section 1, and he's talking about how having a mindset shift can help you achieve your goals. Now, I mentioned to you that this series is not about every single piece of Evan's book, but these are my notes. So as I read, I always write notes in the books that I read, and here are the notes I have for you. So here, when you look at your why, now Evan has a book called Your One Word, and in this book, I was able to think about how what drives me are a few things. One, it's about learning. So the more I learn, the more I'm driven. Second, the more I teach, the more I'm driven. And third, because I learn and I teach, I do enjoy the whole idea of leadership, someone's own leadership at home, in their lives, for work, and beyond. Now, if you look at my why, which is to learn and to teach, how do I get to this point? Well, that's a good question. Now, here I have in my notes that in order to do so, I need to feel like I'm using the drive to go beyond the classroom. And that's why I have my YouTube channels where I create content for people outside of my classroom so I can help them. Second is the idea that I'm a lifelong learner. Now, you can learn a lot of things so that you can teach, but you can learn a lot of things so that you can go beyond what you ever thought you would be. And that's the beauty of teaching. Sometimes people say, well, someone is becoming a teacher and is doing the same thing forever. Well, maybe some do, but I do not do that. Because the more you teach, the more you want to learn, the more you meet people, and the more you want to try new things. And that's how you evolve. The third point is the idea that I have taught for more than 20 years. And at some point, I won't be a teacher forever. So what else am I supposed to think? Well, I need to think, okay, there's a retirement, but there's so much more I want to do. And that's why I am working on this YouTube channel so that I can plan beyond what I do right now. So that's why this is how I get energy at the end of the day for creating content for you and other people. Because I was trying to figure out that my why, being learning and teaching, is what led me to find different ways on how to achieve my goals. One of my goals is to create YouTube channels. I've grown and learned so much from that. I've always, and I've gone to so many conferences and learning opportunities so that I can do more personally, but also I can share more in my classes. I've mentioned here that some of the ideas I have beyond YouTube channels are creating a blog, because I also like to write, the idea of self-education, because the idea is because of the internet, more and more people go online to find ways to learn. So we can learn at school, it's a great place for it, but there's so many other ways to learn, and self-education is amazing for that. And the other one, is there room for me to create courses online, not necessarily about topics that I've taught in high school, but about all the other topics that I do enjoy greatly. So here's a quote that the heaven have from Nietzsche. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. And that's true, because when you are focusing on how to get somewhere, then there's the whole idea of the ups and downs, the successes, the failures. And if you only focus on how to do something, sometimes people can become discouraged. On the other hand, if you do what you do because you're driven by your vision, by what's important to you, for example, for me, learning and teaching, even if sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes there are big failures, the fact that I have an overseeing why, an overseeing vision of learning, that's what makes the harder time easier and the good time fantastic. Let's see. So here I wrote something that often Evan talks a lot, and Evan, one of his core value is about belief. He does believe that if people can have more belief in themselves, they can do so much more. And here I have a note that I heard Evan in his video, and it was like this. If you have your why, therefore you have your vision, you have your energy, what drives you. And in order to know how to get where you want to go, you make a plan, you believe in the plan, and you adjust if needed. And the reason why he says here that you make a plan, believe in the plan, and take action and then adjust is that if you make a plan but never do anything about the plan, then you're going to stay the same place forever. And that we don't want at all. So that's why it's important to, once you have your why, which is the driving energy moving you forward, you know more and more how to get there, but also making sure that once you make a plan, you are taking action. And then it's so much easier to take action and then adjusting to make sure that you get where you want to go than never starting, staying at the same place and not getting anywhere. And that's not very good because you don't want to be in a place where 10 years from now you say, well, I haven't done much more than I did. I could have done more, but somehow I didn't do anything beyond what I could do. For the same reason, think of yourself 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Think about how you have changed and how different you are based on what drives you and what is your vision of life. Some of you may say, well, I am now the same way I was 5 years ago. I'm now the same way as I was 10 years ago. Now, if you feel happy and that's where you want to be, outstanding. Then there's a chance that in 5 or 10 years, you'll be exactly at the same place. On the other hand, every time you learn something new, every time you try something new, every time you succeed, you build confidence. Every time you fail forward. And at the end of the day, that's how we grow. And that's why every few years, it's amazing if you look backward how much you evolved and how much you've done. And this is exciting. It is exciting because you realize that you are not a person that you can expect who that person will be in 10 years. By growing, it's just the journey is exciting to know that the person you'll be in a year, in 3 years, in 5 years, it's going to be such a different person. And that is exciting. So here we've done, in the last few days, we've gone over the 7 mindset shift. So here I have on page 27, they're right here. So Evan's book is quite amazing. He outlines everything we need in order to achieve momentum. So let's see if I can review those 7 mindset shifts. The first one is to believe that great ideas flow through you. Because if you start believing that great ideas flow through you, you're going to take some of those ideas, try them, and take action on those ideas. And we don't know how far and how it will bring joy in your life. And keep in mind, I always say, you need to keep in mind that safety needs to be at the forefront first. Second, the second mindset shift is the following. The ideas that come to you when you're feeling bold are the right ones for you. Think about that. Sometimes you go to the gym, you're all energized, and then you have amazing ideas. You go for a walk, you are energized, you have amazing ideas. You fall in love, you have the energy that is bringing bold ideas to you. You are having a new business relationship that brings idea. This brings bold ideas. And that's important because if you have those bold ideas and you feel that, okay, they are the right ones for me, you'll be able to do bold moves and then just go forward so much faster. The mindset shift number 3 goes like this. Make big decisions with the heart and small ones with the head. And the idea here is once you know your why and what drives you that's in your heart, then you can outline what you need to do and divide them in small steps so that you know what are each of the steps, and you do one at a time so that you can reach your goal. Because if you look at the big goal all at once, what happens is sometimes because our heart is involved, we get anxious, and then sometimes we can stress out. On the other hand, if you take your head and divide all the steps in smaller steps, and you do one at a time, it will make it easier to achieve them. The mindset shift number 4 goes like this. What would the boldest version of you do? We often know that, for example, if we had more time, we would do this or that. If we had more money, we would do this or that. If we were healthier, if we had more connections, we would be able to do this or that. And the other here is, keep in mind that if you have bold ideas, keep them in mind, outline them, list them, and see what can I do to achieve them. For example, if you want to meet someone fantastic, I wanted to meet Evan Carmichael one day. Then I made sure that I was aware of what he was doing. I got involved in his community so that I could find ways to have access to his ideas, his community, and it allowed me at some point to meet him. And that is an example of having a bold idea and working through it. The mindset shift number 5, create your play bigger trigger words. So the whole idea here is sometimes we have trigger words that can be negative. For example, sometimes I tell myself, oh, I'm tired. And when I say that, I feel tired. On the other hand, if an opportunity comes to you and you say, oh, that's exciting, or if something a pitfall comes to you, and then you're like, one of my favorite expression is, oh, that's excellent. Then instead of being negative, I say, okay, here's something happening. There's an opportunity. Let's see what I can do to resolve it so we can move forward while learning to be more resilient. The mindset shift number 6, pass the boom, boom, boom test. That means sometimes you're facing an opportunity and you have your heart beating. And sometimes when you have your heart beating, it's a clue that it is an opportunity that could be interesting for you. If you feel scared a little bit, then it's an example. Say, okay, I'm scared a little bit because if I take the steps towards that opportunity, then I get out of my comfort zone. And if I do, that's a bit scary. On the other hand, if you say, well, it is a bit stressful, but it is exciting, then you have the opportunity to go outside of the comfort zone and then experience new things. And then again, making sure that whatever you decide to do, you are safe, your body's safe, your mind is safe, so that you stay healthy. And the last mindset shift that we've talked about earlier in this video is the following: focus on the why over the how. Because once you focus on your why, your driving force, then it's so much easier to find the energy to find out how to achieve your goals. So on this is the first section of the book Momentum here. There are 4 sections in the book, and let's see if I can look at this one. So we just finished section 1, which is the 7 mindset shifts of the momentum, or of momentum. And guess what? In the next video or 2, I'm going to share with you the next series of actions. Actually, that's what it is. Section 2, it talks about the 7 actions of momentum, and that will be what we'll do in the days to come. On this, I'm going to put here a link to a video of my milestone journey, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.